Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about fighting against different types of shields. We're going to talk about fighting against kites, and we're going to talk about fighting against rounds. Now we're also going to, talk a little bit about using them. Okay, so that the offense and the defense are kind of related. So by learning how to fight against it, you also learn how to fight with it. But first, let's review about fighting with a heater shield. And the reason why I'm going to the heater shield is because I've talked about them so much in prior videos that you guys should basically have a point of reference. Okay, so with this type of a shield, basically I'm using that corner to block my head. Okay, and I'm basically looking around that corner. I'm using that corner here to block my legs. Okay, and when in fighting, I'm basically attacking around the corner. Okay, around there. I can also go to the leg here. Okay, so that's how I'm using this shield. I'm attacking around this corner and that corner. I can also attack around the edge. So that's how I use this type of a shield. Now, as far as the movement of the shield, okay, this shield is kind of like in the middle as far as defense, because I have to actively block in all directions. If somebody's throwing a headshot, right, I do have to bring this shield up just a little bit to block that headshot. I have to punch it this way or this way. If they're going for the leg, I need to bring it down a little bit. If they're trying to attack this area here, I have to bring it in. If they're throwing some kind of a Strutzhau like that, I have to also sword block. Okay, so I do have to also rely on my sword to defend a lot of those high rotational cuts. And that's kind of unavoidable. Okay, those high rotational cuts do require sword blocking. So how is the kite shield different? Okay, first of all, this shield weighs about 9 pounds. That shield would be about the same. What's happened is that they took these, roughly the same amount of mass, and it was redistributed differently. So basically, they made this shield would be thinner. Okay, and by making it thinner, what we can do is we take the weight that we save, and then we make it longer. Okay, so by making the shield thinner, we can afford to make it longer, and we can come in at about the same weight. Okay, now let's talk about how somebody's looking at us. Okay, because basically this shield is relatively tall, right? As I stand next to it, you can see it's tall. The leg, basically, you get very good leg protection. Okay. But because the shield is relatively thin, you pretty much have to stand like this. You only have one point here to protect your leg, so that hip has to stay back, and you're in a position like this. Okay, you have to. If you try to stand like this, basically your shoulders are gonna come a little too close to the edge. Okay, so you're gonna lead with one or the other leg. You can also lead with that, and basically fight it like this. I've seen people fight it in this position as well. But one leg has to lead so it can stay behind that corner. I mean, unless you have a rectangular shield, or like something like a Scutum where you have two corners, with most of these shields that have a single point at the bottom, you have to fight it with one or the other leg forward. Okay, so with that position, because the shield is so high, right, it comes almost to come pretty much to the top of the head. This person needs to be able to see us, right? So that means that they're going to be looking out of the side. So basically, their head is going to be someplace right here. Okay, so with the kite shield, we can expect that the head's always going to be to the side. It's not going to be like this shield where sometimes it's here and sometimes it's here. It's always going to be here. What that means is that they, since they have to maintain vision, they have to sword block their head a lot. Okay, sometimes they can punch it over a little bit, but then what happens is they blind themselves. So they're gonna depend a lot on sword blocking, and that's really important information for us to have, because what that means is anytime I throw a Zornhau right to the head, okay, or a Krummhau, they have to sword block that. And what that means is if they have to sword block it, they're not hitting us at that moment. Okay, so they can only defend with the sword or attack with the sword. And if I'm attacking this area of the shield here, the sword basically is committed to defense. So fighting against a shield like this, my opening shots are usually going to be to that head area. So I'm basically going to throw, let's say, a Zornhau followed by a Krummhau, right? And then from there I can go to a Shiohau. Okay? Now, with these shield edges here, if I throw any diagonal cut, it's gonna get blocked. Okay, the guy doesn't even need to move his shield. So against this type of a shield, what I'm doing is I'm stepping a little bit to the side, and I'm making these angle cuts. Okay, I'm stepping a little bit to the side, and I'm trying to just cut the angle a little bit. So from when we look at that shield, okay, we're not going to see any up-down motion, because like I said, my heater shield, basically moves in all directions. Okay, that shield's only going to move in two directions: left, right, left, right. Okay, it doesn't go up and down. If I try to throw, let's say, some high rotational cut, right? Like, let's say I throw a Krummhau like this, that comes over the top. Okay, it's really awkward for them to lift their shield up that high, because what's going to happen is, look at what happens when I bring this corner in to block that head. That corner sticks out, right? So as that corner comes up, that corner goes out. With a longer shield, if they try to bring that corner in, that corner is going to go way out there, and it basically there's too much torque involved with bringing that shield in. So basically, it's really inefficient to try to raise that shield up and bring it high to block the rotational cuts. It is a lot more efficient to simply sword block those high rotational cuts. Okay, so this shield is going to be basically just moving back and forth, okay, and sword blocking the head this way. That's what we can expect from that shield. And what we want to do is we want to create patterns and then break them. Okay, so what I'll usually do is, if I'm fighting a shield like that, I'll throw something up here, right? So I'll throw, let's say a Zwerchhau followed by a Zornhau, okay, to keep that sword busy. Then step to the side and throw another Zornhau here, okay? Come back, reset, throw, let's say, another Zornhau there, right? Come back, throw a Shieldhau straight down the edge, okay? So I'm doing a lot of that back and forth. And what I'll do is, like, okay, so like I'll throw there, come to there, step here, come back here. Okay. So what I did there is I set up a pattern, and I broke it. Okay. So let me do this again. Start there, and that'll force them to sword block. Come to this side, throw a shot there. Come to this side, and then fire back over here. Okay. So that's basically how you want to attack that type of a shield. You're going to be going back and forth, okay? Stepping to the side this way, stepping to the side that way. Nothing more than one step. You're not going to try and take multiple steps. Because if you try to take 3 or 4 steps to get around him, he's just going to pivot. Okay? It takes a lot less energy to pivot. Okay? So you don't want to waste energy trying to take multiple steps. You're just taking 6 inches this way, 1 foot this way, come back over here, come back over there, come back over here, go over here. All right, so that's how you're going to attack this shield. We're not going to try and attack the low leg because he's got too much defense over there. And even if let's say I drop, I can kind of get down there. Well, this is, it's still pretty easy for him to drop that shield a little bit and block that leg. And while I'm down here taking that leg, he's in a much better position to just do a Krummhau. It's going to come over my shield and hit me, okay? So it's a lot more risky for me to try to go there versus what he can do to me, okay? So with this shield, I really don't want to work. I don't want to work that. I can still go for the legs, but the way I'm going to go to the legs is I'm working here. Throw a shot there, come here, come back here, throw there, okay? So what I did there is I stepped this way, right? To get him thinking I'm going in that direction, step this way and throw the Winkerhau, okay, that way. So these are all different things that we can do against a kite shield. Now, the way I have this shield situated, it's sitting relatively flat like this, right? So it's flat like this. He's sword blocking over here, protecting his head. But he can also hold this in a more open position. He can also decide to take a guard like this, okay? That's, kites can be strapped in many different ways. So if he does that, it's the same as if I'm fighting him from now this angle here. So now obviously if he's holding the shield that way, I'm not going to be doing much attacking back there. I'm now basically playing the front here, okay? But now I'm in a position to take some really deep Krummhau, okay? I can throw the you know, the struts how, right, and then from there come in really deep here. You know, I can threaten there to maybe try and get him to throw that, you know, to throw that shield back a little bit. He may do it, he may not do it, but basically that's just a threat, so I can come back around and strike there, okay, strike there. All right, so basically I'm working this edge here, trying to step here, step there. You know, by you know, I can still threaten that corner up there. You know, I can throw all sorts of stuff up there. You know, I can throw Winkerhow back there because that's a, you know, this is a pretty small circle over here. So a Winkerhow to the back over there, like that has a chance of going in. You know, or I can throw Winkerhow, the Strutshow like that, or I can throw Strutshow like that. Okay, come in, and that's gonna get him to really commit, you know, his sword to block in that area. So that's the main thing to know with a kite shield. They're looking at you from the side over here. They have to sword block. So if you're aiming at their head, if you're throwing shots at their head, they have to sword block those shots. Okay, and basically their movement is going to be mostly back and forth with the shield. Okay, so that's how we want to get them moving, create patterns, and then break it. Okay, let's look at a round shield. Okay, and you're going to see that it's a lot of the same ideas, just applied a little bit differently with the round. Alright, so with the round shield, same deal basically. The top is round, okay? We don't have that low leg defense, so what they did is they took that extra mass from there and they applied it to the edges, okay? So as I stand in front of this shield, you can see there's a lot of stuff, a lot of shields sticking out to the sides. So this is the opposite of the kite, okay? With the kite, the defense is side to side. With this type of a shield, you know, we're not going to bother trying to attack these edges here. You know, so the defense with this, the movement is all going to be up and down. Okay, so this is an up and down attack. Now, same deal with the head, because basically now their head's not just going to be on one side because this shield is shorter, right, from top to bottom. You know, their head can be anywhere along the top edge. Okay, it can be here, it can be here, it can be here. They can move to different positions like that. So the head can be anywhere. You know, it can be here, it can be there, it could be there. But anytime I attack that head, okay, they pretty much have to use. You know, they don't have a corner. They can't just bring that corner in to catch the blows. They have to sword block it. They have to, you know, also sword block the headshots. So by throwing at the head, we're basically tying up their sword because they have to use the sword to sword block. Okay. What we're doing is, again, we're going to play the up and down game a lot. So we're going to throw to the head, throw to the leg, you know, fake to the head, and then go to the leg, throw to the leg, fake low, go high. Okay, so these are the type of things we're going to do. So we're going to play a lot up and down, and we're also going to play these corners here. Okay, so we're going to do the zone house here, zone house there, croup house. Okay, the downward cuts, those are going to work. Croup house, downward rotational cuts. We want lots of those. You know, the a zone house diagonally here. Okay, we're going to do a lot. We will do some of the side to side stuff to try and get to the legs. So I can throw here to this corner, just try and step around and get to the leg from that corner. Okay, so there's a little bit of side and side at these corners over here, so we can't get the shield to move a little bit to the side, but the defense is obviously stronger at these corners and at these corners compared to the kite shield, because basically it's just wider over there. So basically we have, we have to really get that shield moving in order to be able to get to those corners. So I really need to fake here, step here, and try to take that. Try to take that corner over there. But the safest bet is the up and down. And it's not like we should do one and not the other. We want to do all of these things. But most of most of the hits that will strike is, strike there, go there. Okay, come up there, go to the leg. Okay, so we want to work those four corners a lot. Okay, you know, we got Zwerchow there, middle how there. Zwerchow there, middle how there. Okay, low, high, high, low. Okay. You know, most of the time I'm going to want to start off with attacking that headshot because I want to tie up that sword. Okay, so basically I'll throw there, you know, and then basically, you know, throw a headshot, drop down like it looks like I'm throwing a leg, and then come back up to the head. You know, that's another very effective combination. And the same deal, you know, with the shield. Right now, I'm fighting it as if it's flat. You know, either strapped or center grip. It doesn't matter. I mean, if the shield is center grip, I mean, they're going to be able to do a lot more stuff like that. That's the only main difference. But if they're fighting it in an open style like this, it's as though I'm standing over here. Now, obviously, I'm not playing those back corners. You know, this is the same deal like with the kite shield. I've got similar angles. You know, threaten there. You know, I can't throw the shield how straight down over here. So if I threaten there, I'm gonna go middle how to the leg. Okay. Winker hows to that back corner are really not gonna work because there's a lot of shield over here. So the struts how is gonna work really nice. And then from there, we can turn this into a deep prune cow that goes into the armpit, you know, and then from there we're set up to go to that leg. Okay, so you know, a few things for you guys to think about on fighting against kite shields and round shields. But the main thing to be aware of is that both of these shields, because they don't have corners, they have to do a lot more sword blocking, you know, at the head. Okay, and the kite shield, okay, it's weakest on the side, so that means that the defense is going to end up going side to side a lot more to make up for that weakness. Okay, the round shield is weakest at the top and the bottom. Okay, it's got really strong defense on the side. So basically, the round shield is going to end up going up and down a lot more to make up for where it's weakest. Okay, and I'm not trying to imply here that a heater shield is better or anything like that. All these shields are historical. They're all good. I've seen the excellent, awesome fighters fight with all these types, all these three shields, and plus a few other shields out there. It's all about being good with whatever weapons you happen to be using. I mean, I don't care if you're using a chair as a shield. If you can use it well, it's gonna work good. Obviously, I'm exaggerating a little bit there, but with the like I said, the kite shield, the defense is side to side. The round shield, the defense is up and round. I'm sorry. Kite shield side to side. Round shield, it's up and down. Okay, and the heater shield, it's in all directions. I gotta move this in all directions because the shield doesn't stick out too much on the side here. Doesn't stick out too much on the side there. Doesn't stick out too much over here. The only thing that the heater really has going for it is that it's got the corner here and the corner here that allows me to look around it, and basically I can attack around those, around these corners and around that corner. So all these shields, have their strengths and they have their weaknesses, and it's just a matter of, being aware of what they are. Maximizing your strengths, minimizing your weaknesses. Well, not your weaknesses, but rather the inherent weaknesses of each type of shield and each type of weapon. Like it's like if you're fighting with a long sword, right? Obviously, you have more reach. Okay, so if you're fighting, so you have better offense at a distance. Whereas if you're fighting, let's say, with a shorter sword, you will be able to fight more effectively up close. So if you have a short sword, you don't want to fight at a distance. If you have a long sword, you probably don't want to fight too close. Okay, so it's just a matter of matching your tactics to whatever weapons you happen to be using. So if you guys got any questions or comments, please post them. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it. If you're not a member, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.